So, as some of you know, I did not celebrate my birthday this year. It just felt so weird to celebrate my birthday without my mom. She just always made my birthday so special. And it also felt weird to celebrate life when nothing really felt celebratory. I didn't feel excited about my days. I didn't feel excited about the fact that I was still here when my mom wasn't. And I wanted to honor that. But I'm in such a different headspace now. I am not exactly excited about life every day, but I do feel that it's meaningful that I'm still here, and I am excited to see what 28 brings me. 28 is a really special year for me. Since I was a child, I just had this vision that 28 would be this beautiful year for me where I would really grow into who I was always meant to be. And it's incredible that little me felt that way because it's true. 28 is just so incredible. I am at a place where I'm so sure about who I am, and I just feel like I'm finally allowed to be myself authentically in every way. When I'm feeling sad, I show up sad. When I'm exhausted, I don't push myself past my limits. When I do something that other people don't agree with, unless it's somebody whose opinion really matters to me, I don't let their opinions change how I want to show up in the world, because I just have so much clarity on who I am, who I'm meant to be, and what I want out of this world and out of this life. I also want to share that me feeling this way is not something that happened overnight. I've spent the last 5 to 10 years really working on myself. I've done so much reflective work on who I am and whether the way that I show up in the world aligns with who I am. I've done a lot of reflective work on what I want to do in this world and what I feel like my role is. And I've also practiced setting boundaries, which is something that I didn't really do regularly growing up. I didn't know that I was allowed to say no to people, to opportunities. I didn't know that I was allowed to say yes to myself. And as I've got older, I've learned to listen to myself more, to listen to my body, to listen to my heart, to listen to my soul, to listen to my mind, and to do a lot of check ins to see how I'm truly feeling about things. If there are people who I don't feel good around, they're not in my life anymore. If there are situations that exhaust me and don't give me any energy, I don't put myself in those situations anymore. And I gotta say, I'm really proud of myself because this journey has not been easy. And I have had so many obstacles every single year challenging this journey. And yet I've stayed the course, and I have been so committed to being my best self, to being my truest self. And it's something that my mom was so proud of. And I don't think I fully understood why she was so proud of me until she died, because for me to still exist the way that I'm meant to exist, even after she's no longer physically here, that to me tells me that I've really made it. To honor my grief while also respecting the people around me, while also appreciating the support that I continuously receive, while also not being flexible about the boundaries that I set before my mother died. And while also having to deal with so many opinions about the way that I live my life. It's exhausting. It's so bloody exhausting. And I'm still here. And that deserves to be celebrated. So, I want to spend some time to talk about birthdays. I love birthdays. I really do. Anybody who's in my immediate circle knows that they don't really have a choice when it comes to celebrating their birthdays because I will just peer pressure them into doing it. And I feel that way because that's the way my mom felt. We saw birthdays as an opportunity to celebrate somebody for just existing, not because of what they do, not because of the contributions that they make to the world, but literally just because they're alive. Growing up, my mom would make me feel so incredibly special on my birthday. No matter how much money we had, no matter what the restrictions were in the country that we lived in, she was just so thoughtful about the way she celebrated my birthday. And I want to share some of the gifts and parties that I got to receive growing up. So I think the earliest birthday that I do remember is my fourth birthday. My birthday party was Winnie the Pooh, and my mom made this beautiful Winnie the Pooh cake. And she got me this book. It's Minnie and Me. And the cool thing about this story is it intertwines parts of my life. So it's like Minnie and I are going on this adventure. I'm going to read you the first bit. At last, summertime was here. That meant Kirsten Mendonça, age 4 years, who lived in Jeddah, was going to visit Minnie Mouse at the beach. Another birthday party that I so vividly remember is my 8th birthday party. So my mom, my brother, and I had just moved to Dubai, but having such a huge community on my birthday right as we settled in made the move seem less intimidating, and everybody made me feel so warm and welcome. This was a superstar party. Of course, I dressed up as Beyonce. And of course, my mother dressed up as Queen Latifah. I'm pretty sure my cake for this year was a shooting star. Everything had to be on brand. I have to say the best birthday party that my mom ever threw me was for my 18th birthday. So I had been away from home for 4 years and I hadn't got to celebrate my birthday with my mom, but I had gone home for the summer right after I graduated and before I was about to leave for university. And it was my 18th birthday, so my mom wanted it to be memorable. I was feeling kind of blue around my birthday that year because I had left my high school and I was missing my friends, and also because there weren't a lot of friends that I was close to that lived in Dubai at that time, which is where my mom lived and where I was for the summer. And so I told my mom it can just be really low key this year, like just me, the family at home, no biggie. And she was like, yeah, totally low key. And then I wake up on the day of my birthday and bam, she hits me with a treasure hunt around the entire city where every single clue led to an activity that was something that I had listed on my bucket list. And there were 18 clues for the 18-year-old birthday girl. This treasure hunt was also featuring virtual visits from my long distance friends and surprise in-person visits. Some of my friends had flown down just for my birthday. I cannot even describe the scope of those 24 hours. But let me just say, the best day of my life. My mom brought like over 50 people together of all ages to work on this treasure hunt. We built a gigantic sandcastle. I got to write a message in a bottle and throw it into the sea. We had a tea party and the cake. Oh my gosh. So around that time, my mom and I were obsessed with white chocolate versions of all different chocolates. And my mom literally picked my favorite white chocolate versions and decorated the entire outside. And as I cut through it, the inside was lime green, which was my signature color that year. Of course, I had a signature color. Come on, I'm a Leo. We also rented out a limo, and a bunch of my friends came together and dressed up, and we hit the town. I had just watched Tangled and was obsessed with the lanterns, and my mom somehow got those. I remember watching TV and seeing people eat Chinese food out of the Chinese takeout boxes. And I thought that was the coolest thing, and I'd never seen it before. And of course, my mom got that too. My mom got me a manicure and pedicure, and we ended the night with a pizza party, obviously, and then a gigantic sleepover where all my friends came to my house, and we just like put sleeping bags and mattresses and covered the entire living room. And I just felt so incredibly loved by my mom, by my entire community, and it was one of the most beautiful ways to say goodbye to my family as I moved on to Canada. Over the past 10 years, my mom and I have lived apart, but that never stopped her from still making me feel so special on my birthday. Even though she couldn't spend the day with me, she would always buy me a gift and give it to me when she did see me, and she messaged me every single day of the entire month because I obviously don't just celebrate one day. I celebrate the day, the week before, and the entire month. She actually got me a cup for my last birthday that says it's my birthday month to honor that. And one of the most special gifts she gave me to this day, or a couple of years back, I was struggling a lot with my identity because people always have a lot of questions and comments about the way I look and where I'm really from. And my mom wanted me to feel more grounded in my identity. So she got me this book called Poscam, and it's about mixed race communities in Goa. And it was such a gentle read. And I got emotional throughout the book, obviously. And it was such a testament to how deeply my mom wanted to love me the way that I wanted to be loved, you know? She always listened to my heart's desires. She always read between the lines, and her gifts were a representation of that. To honor myself and my mom, I want to celebrate 28. I want to celebrate how far I've come, and I want to celebrate who I am. So much of who I am is her. There are a million life lessons that my mom taught me, but I think the two most important ones that I hold really close to my heart, that guide me every single day, are that of love and courage. My mom taught me that love is not just an emotion, it's not a feeling, it's not an arbitrary concept. It is an action. It is about loving somebody the way they want to be loved, the way they deserve to be loved. It is not about seeing somebody as your property, but about respecting them as a person, respecting their rights, My mom taught me that there is no love without justice. If I love you and I see that there are power dynamics between us and I'm not willing to address that, love is not present there. When it came to courage, my mom taught me to stand up for what I believe in, regardless of what people might have to say about it. Being her daughter, I got to witness every single day the things people would have to say about her because she chose to live life differently from what society expected. And I would just watch in awe. I would think to myself, how does she walk through the world with that much confidence? How is she so sure about who she's meant to be? And I never ever thought I'd get there. And look at me now. I also want to read you part of the eulogy that I wrote for my mom's funeral. I think it really speaks to my experience being raised by a mother like her. My mother was the first home I ever had. Coming from someone who's grown up in 19 homes, you can trust me when I say the first one matters. From the moment I started growing in her belly, Mom made me feel safe and loved, setting the foundation for the rest of my life. My mom and I had a beautiful and rare relationship. We were mother and daughter, but we were also each other's best friend. We pushed each other to be the best versions of ourselves and celebrated every milestone along the way. We held each other across distance, time, and space. And yes, we have many expensive phone bills to prove it. Mom was a true leader. She was unapologetically herself 100% of the time. Even when people didn't understand her, she believed in who she was, and that was what mattered most to her. Can you imagine being raised with someone like that? I remember making Mom a gold macaroni necklace when I was little. One night, while Mom was dressing up for a party, I brought her the macaroni necklace and asked if she wanted to wear it because I believed with all my heart that it matched her outfit perfectly. Mom, of course, left for her party proudly wearing macaroni around her neck. Watching Mom walk through the world with such confidence is how I am who I am today. As I grew up, I learned to love myself and felt empowered to be myself. Mom taught me to trust my heart and my intuition over other people's opinions. And it is a lesson I carry with me every single day. When I think about celebrating who I am today, I think about love, I think about courage, and I also think about all the ways that my friends have described me. I think about being kind, I think about being generous with care, I think about paying attention to all the little details, because they're going to help me inform the way that I love somebody. I think about being joyful. I think about being committed to showing up to be the best version of myself and subsequently bringing up the best in others. I think about being smart. I think about weaving in the wisdom of my past into my present. I think about being thoughtful. I am really proud of who I am today. All of those things deserve to be celebrated. And I don't think that I celebrate that enough. And I think part of it is because we're not taught to celebrate the best parts of ourselves. And I think part of it is also because there are so many people who have so many opinions about the way that I'm living my life. And it really fucks me up. I do care about the fact that people feel entitled to share their opinions with me. And it exhausts me. And I find it disrespectful. And it just frustrates me that people would choose to act that way. And sometimes I feel like it's easier to just be in my corner and not be loud about who I am, because then maybe I'll be free of hearing other people tell me about who I should be and what I should do and why the way I am is not okay. But here's the thing, I am not meant to be small. I am meant to be loud, and people will always have something to say about me, whether it's the way that I dress or the kind of people that I choose to have relationships with, or the people that I don't want in my life anymore, or the career path that I choose for myself, or the way that I want my marriage to exist. And I hate it. I really, really hate it, because it takes up so much energy to tell people to leave you alone, because people don't know how to respect boundaries. And so you have to set those boundaries about 100 times. And I would much rather spend my time doing anything else. But unfortunately, I do need to spend my time telling people to leave me the hell alone, because my work is so much greater than myself. When I show up the way that I show up, I'm telling other people that they deserve to show up the way that feels most authentic to them. And that is more important to me than not having to deal with, as I like to call them, my haters. I am out here building spaces of liberation. I am so uninterested in the way that society dictates that we live our life. I want to live my life the way that feels right for me. And the people that matter will stay and will love that I'm showing up the way I'm meant to. And the people that can't handle that, I guess they're just not meant to be in my life. And trust me, I'm going to be straightforward about it. So if you know anybody who has a problem with the way that I'm living my life, please tell them to mind their own business. And if they refuse to, feel free to let them know that my mother has no problem haunting them for the rest of their lives. And if you are struggling like I am to just exist the way you're meant to because people are all up in your business, reach out to me. Let's build an army, because we're out here existing in a realm of everything that's possible, and they're over here satisfied with the way things are. And we deserve to live a life that's bigger than the way things are. Before I go, I do want to share one last thing. I recently got a tattoo that I'm so excited about. It was just timed so perfectly. It has a ginkgo leaf, which one of my best friends, Caitlin, picked out. And after doing a little bit of research, I learned that ginkgos represent hope, resilience, and strength. And that's really what I'm hoping to embody in this next year of my life. Just like the ginkgo that is part of the oldest tree species of the world continues to exist today, so will the ways that we choose to live our life. My mom paved the way for me to be where I am today, and we will pave the way for future communities to exist in liberation. Along with the ginkgo plant, my tattoo reads, "Don't you feel powerless living in other people's worlds?" I chose these words because they remind me of why I choose to exist the way that I do. Living life the way that society asks me to live life just feels so meaningless, because it's not coming from me. It's coming from this arbitrary guideline. And I want life to be more than that. I want to be intentional with how I spend my time. I want to be thoughtful with the way that I show up in my relationships. Because to me, that is me living life to the fullest. That is me taking back power that the world has tried to take from me. And in a lot of ways, this question is a response that I can give to people who ask me why I live life the way that I do.